And welcome to another tropical update from Cayman Hurricane Center. And so, folks, we are back again. And so, Nadine has weakened to a remnant low. Well, really, a remnant trough of low pressure now. No longer having a closed circulation at this point in time. We'll run through quickly the details of that. Then to our Hurricane Oscar, which now, by all appearances, made landfall, has now made landfall here for Cuba, the southeastern portions of Cuba. So we'll run through the details of that as we go as well. So just getting into it here, folks. Nadine, as we could see here, no longer having a defined low-level center or even a circulation to speak of. It is an open trough at this point, as we could see here. The wind flow over the area coming out of the east-southeast here. And then we could see a little bit of that tilt as we get through this part here. But again, no indications here on the southern side that we do have a closed center anymore. Again, the flow is very much the same on the southeast side. Now, with that being said, we could be potentially looking at some additional development in the eastern Pacific side. And again, the trough of low pressure that's there, plus a wind gap event causing some winds to pick up here. What that could allow is for some rotation to build down here, and then that will shoot off towards the west-northwest. Again, albeit having some of the DNA of Nadine, it will likely be designated as an Eastern Pacific name. The name will not transfer over as the low-level center has not maintained itself as the remnants passes over. So that is that with Nadine. So just quickly running through the details here. Again, as of the last advisory to run on Nadine, round about 16,593 west, about 165 south-southwest of Ciudad del Carmen, Mexico. And winds estimated around 30, the movement west-southwest 14, pressure 1,007. Obviously, no watches and warnings for the system. Maybe some rain-related watches and warnings there for Mexico, Guatemala, Belize, but again, no storm watches and warnings. Again, as stated, we could be seeing some development of a new depression or storm in the Eastern Pacific that is partially tied to this, but again, will not take the name of Nadine. Again, we are still expecting some additional rainfall amounts there, 4 to 8 inches with isolated areas up to a foot. And through other parts of Mexico there, and additional 1 to 2 with up to 4 for Belize, Guatemala, and again, parts of the Yucatan there. So with that out the way, we can now move on to our Hurricane Oscar. Just as we are getting into sunset time, we can see the transition in satellite here. We now have officially landfall here on Cuba. So just running through the details here, we'll go into a bit of a discussion with Oscar. So as of 5:55 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, 2150 UTC, located around about 20.3, 74.4, about 5 miles east-southeast of Baracoa, about 50 miles east of Guantanamo, Cuba. Winds at 80. The movement is to the west-southwest at 7. Pressure is at 986 millibars. So, folks, as we could see here, we could even see that the core, the eye of the system was really starting to take off a bit just before it had made landfall. And we could see this a little bit more clearer here on the high resolution uh, IR image here. We could even see the eye that was sort of kind of clearing out a bit here before making landfall. And of course, we could see here the coastal line here is there. So the eye has now officially made that crossover of land. So we do have an official landfall now taking place. Now, the interesting thing here, folks, is, well, what's going to happen with this system? But just before running through that, just wanting to quickly run over what we do have in terms of our watches and warnings here. Again, we're looking at hurricane warnings for the Cuban provinces, Holguin and Guantanamo, to Punta Masi, a hurricane watch for Cuban province of Las Tunas, tropical storm warning, southeastern Bahamas and the south coast of Cuba, province of Guantanamo, north coast of Cuba, province of Las Tunas, tropical storm watch for the north coast of Cuba, province of Camagüey, and central Bahamas. Again, interest elsewhere in the area should closely monitor the progress of the system. Again, the system is growing in size and likely due to its weakening and its interaction will likely grow a little bit more in size as it weakens quite tremendously over the mountains of Cuba. So we'll note that here. Again, hurricane force winds now 10 miles from the center, tropical storm force winds now 45 miles from the center. We do note that recent wind gust of 63 around Punta Masi in the eastern tip of Cuba. We've obviously seen a little bit stronger here as we go. The pressure, again, 986, that was recorded by Hurricane Hunter aircrafts earlier. We do see that Punta Masi, eastern tip of Cuba, reported recently 998. Again, they are a little bit further away from where the center is. So again, tight system, tight pressure gradient there. So we'll note that. Again, in terms of the impacts here, again, tropical storm force winds likely to be spreading over further portions of Cuba and the Bahamas. We could even see some of those winds potentially even extending south of Cuba as the wind field expands and the system moves a bit further deeper into Cuba. Again, rainfall-wise, we're looking at 6 to 12 inches with isolated amounts of 18 across eastern Cuba. Across southeastern Bahamas, 3 to 5 inches, isolated amounts of 8. Turks and Caicos, again, we're looking at 2 to 4 inches expected. And we could even see, again, 1 to 2 inches in western portions of Haiti here. And we could even see that extending into portions of Jamaica. We could see that as well. And we'll have to see how the forecast goes with this system and to help determine what will be happening here as we go. Again, forecast-wise, again, very interesting one here. Again, we are expecting the west-southwestward movement to continue, then likely a westward movement. Likely be getting somewhere within the deeper vicinity of Cuba here. The question remains of where exactly it'll track. Ultimately, what we are looking at is that eventually it'll likely get back out into this vicinity. Likely it's a very weakened system. May not even be a tropical storm at that point. Maybe barely even a tropical cyclone altogether. But again, the wide ranges of projections here takes this thing even down to the south here before recurving up. Some of them take it out to here, then out to here. Some of them, again, do like that. And then some of them even just slow movement and recurve up there. We'll have to wait and see how things progress. Again, it's very much tied into how deep, how strong the system is as we go forwards, how much weakening the system gets. So we'll see.